Hi everyone, it's Danny. Okay, so today we will discuss about how to properly sterilize a wound on an orchid. And I have a perfect example here. Now, this orchid had a cut leaf. I cut it and actually it got infected, and as you can see the infection is starting to spread, going lower, and if I leave this be it will take over the whole leaf and probably the pseudobulb as well, so we kind of need to stay on top of that. Now we may cut orchid leaves for different reasons. Maybe it has a blemish that we don't like. In my case I actually tested for a virus, and as you can see I didn't do a good job at sterilizing it, but I've learned my lesson. So I'll tell you today how to absolutely sterilize any cut and actually improve the chances that you don't get a further bacterial infection. So first step, wash your hands thoroughly with soap before you do this. You can also wear gloves, but it's not really comfortable. But in any case, especially if you've worked with other orchids prior to cutting this leaf, wash your hands thoroughly in between. Second step, sterilize your cutting tools. This is really important. You can sterilize the scissors with alcohol or with bleach or with a torch or with boiling water, whatever you want, but just sterilize your cutting tool between each orchid. Third step, get yourself hydrogen peroxide 3%. I like to place it in the spray bottle for an easier application. Fourth step, get some cinnamon powder and a Q-tip for easier application as well. Cinnamon is actually a very good drying agent. Some say it has some antibacterial and antifungal properties. I don't know about that since this is commercial cinnamon, but I can definitely assure you that it dries surfaces very well, and this will actually help heal the wound. Okay, so what we'll do now is cut the affected portion of the orchid. Now when cutting, make sure that you actually cut in good tissue. Don't cut it here, don't cut it here, cut it into good tissue. Maybe half a centimeter to a centimeter below the actual infection. This is a safe zone to cut, and make a clean cut. Now use the hydrogen peroxide 3% to spray on the wound. This will actually sterilize everything. And if there are any fungal or bacterial problems here, this will actually take care of it. If you get hydrogen peroxide on the roots or on the other leaves, don't worry, they will not get burned or anything. It's just important to get the hydrogen peroxide on the cut wound. At this point, let the orchid fizz for a few minutes, just so you let the hydrogen peroxide do its thing, and then we will come back. After the initial reaction, the hydrogen peroxide will be broken down in water and oxygen. So at this point, you don't need the hydrogen peroxide on the leaf anymore. So try to dry it off. Okay, time to make this wound heal faster. So use the Q-tip to get a little bit of cinnamon, like so, and then apply the cinnamon only on the cut wound. If this stuff gets on the roots, it might end badly, so what I like to do is try to create a buffer here between the actual leaf and the root system. So try to place the cinnamon directly on the cut. Now, because I have the hand here between the leaf and the actual root system and the entire orchid, I can go crazy with cinnamon. But please do take into consideration that cinnamon dries very, very well, and make sure you don't place it on the entire orchid. I actually lost a flower spike due to cinnamon. Okay, at this point, I think the wound is completely covered by cinnamon. There we go, and this is how you would actually disinfect properly a wound on an orchid. And I do believe this will actually reduce the chances of reinfection by a great deal. And I have an example to show you. Now this is an orchid upon which I performed a virus test as well, and I had to cut a portion of its leaf. But as you can see, in this case, I did a proper job in sterilizing the wound. And hopefully you can see it healed beautifully and very, very fast. There is no further infection on this leaf, so I have no worries. And I did use the same procedure that I just showed you. Okay everyone, I hope this video was useful to you. If you would like to watch more videos from me regarding orchids, you can subscribe to my channel and stay up to date. If you have questions or suggestions for me, just leave me a comment and I'll get back to you. And if you just want to stay in touch with me and see some orchid pictures, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And you have all the links below. Thank you so much for joining. I'll see you next time. Bye!